It's October 26th, 2018.
And this is Nerd Bourbon episode 73. I'm Seth Sturgill.
And I'm Todd Sturgill.
Hey, Todd, I'm married.
What? No, it's fine.
I'm married right now. I'm a married boy. You were there, and you're already home and everything, and it's all good.
Oh, yeah, I would be home and back to work at this point, wouldn't I?
Yeah, I think you would. I would be heading home actually myself for my honeymoon, as a matter of fact, at this point. So, yeah, Todd, we're recording this while I'm on the road home from Austin.
That would be such a shit show to actually set up like that.
It is kind of funny, just like thinking about the reality of it all as we're recording these Evergreen episodes. Like, you know, we're only recording like 2 Evergreen episodes. So it's weird to think that in 2 weeks from... Basically 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be like married and in Austin on my honeymoon.
Yeah, this shit's crazy.
It's weird to me. It's like sneaking up so fast. And we've had for a while now, Anastasia's had a countdown like on our fridge. We have a whiteboard on our fridge.
Yeah.
And we, as of today, are now in the single digits.
Fuck.
Away from the wedding day. It's crazy.
Dude, that's... Like, well, it's just like, I was sitting there at work, like, this past Monday, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck, I'm leaving this Saturday. I was like, shit.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, honestly, like, I start my vacation in, like, 4 days. It's crazy. 5 days from now, you will be literally here physically.
Mm-hmm.
It's October 11th at the time of this recording. And you will be actually here. Like hanging out. We'll probably be playing D&D like 5 days from now. That's so weird to me. I don't know. It like doesn't feel real. The wedding feels real because, like, you know, it's basically like approaching. The wedding is basically like driving into the eye of a storm, and it's been a very real beast for a while. But the reality of everything that is happening alongside the wedding hasn't set in for me yet. And, like, just the distance has not set in for me yet. I don't know. It's weird. You wanna tell the folks at home what we're doing for this Evergreen episode that we have planned?
Is this the third or the fourth?
I think this is the third. No, maybe it is the fourth.
You know, yeah. I'm trying to think because it's like you did the first one, I did the second one. You just did it. Yeah. So it's okay. So This is the fourth quarterly video game vomit.
So does that mean that we started doing Video Game Vomit a year ago?
I think so.
Damn. Okay.
And the thing is, it's not like we actually have this on a schedule. It's just like we give it every couple of months. We're like, Video Game Vomit? It's
pretty much like, yeah, on like a 4 month, you know, or a 3 month window where it's just like, hey, this is a fun game to play. This is makes for some good tent. It actually, this time, it aligned with, you know, with needing to do Evergreen episodes anyway, so. Yeah, so it's your turn to do Video Game Vomit this week. For those who don't know, Video Game Vomit is our little game that we like to play. Quarterly game that we play together where we go to a video game title mashup generator. A new one, actually, this time. I'm looking forward to seeing what this one produced. And all the Middle Eastern titles that got scrapped. But it is a quarterly game. We go to a video game mashup title generator and we just grab a bunch of, like, essentially this generator will take video game titles across all years and all platforms, and you'll just mash up like ridiculous titles, and sometimes they're beautiful titles that make sense, and sometimes they're just hot garbage, and either way, Todd and I basically just, you know, hash out what we think these games might be. Yeah. And we call it Video Game Vomit, and we take turns every time. Last time I did it, I kind of curated the titles. That's another important factor. The other person has no idea what the titles are coming in. And this time around, it's Todd's turn to curate the titles for all of our enjoyment. So Todd, I'm ready. Hit me whenever you're ready.
All right. The first one that I enjoyed, Vegetarian Murder Master.
Vegetarian Murder Master. Okay.
Yes.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind with this one?
Honestly, a vegetarian serial killer.
Well, here's what I'm thinking too, because like And it's always funny with these because I'm like, what game title has vegetarian in the title? Yeah. So is the murderer in question a vegetarian, or is he murdering vegetarians?
I like that idea more.
What, the second one?
Yes.
Like he's just murdering vegetarians?
Yes.
Maybe it's one of those like a Hotline Miami kind of thing. Or just like an
just
ultra
like over
violent,
the top, just like really,
an ultra violent like top down twin stick shooter. I mean, that would never work. That would never go through anywhere, especially since, I'll say this: the writing would be very fun. I always thought it would be very fun, like the kind of like the Scott Pilgrim thing, where like the vegans get superpowers.
I see. I'd play it because it'd be so fucking stupid.
It'd be funny or maybe going with the Scott Pilgrim angle, maybe the vegetarians have superpowers in this world, or maybe you are otherwise oppressed by vegetarians in this world.
Okay.
And the vegetarians are just literally better than you. And so like it's kind of like insurmountable odds, and your only option is to murder them. Now, maybe so I'm just spitballing here. So the master part, maybe it's almost like a Hitman-esque. We were talking about Hitman actually before we started recording. The fact that these vegetarians are so much better than you and have almost godlike abilities, the only way, it's a stealth game, the only way you can murder them is if you kind of carefully plan out and take them by surprise.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And like there could be other dumb shit where you can like secretly like plant non-vegetarian shit and trick them into eating it.
Somehow you can trick them into eating meat. And that's just when it like all goes haywire. Do you man, it's so funny. I I tried to be a vegetarian for like a month.
Fuck.
When I was younger. Did I ever tell you about this?
You have, but
I don't think I've said on the podcast.
It's never been sold on the podcast.
Yeah, so I watched I think like, oh god, this is so long ago. We're talking like 2003 or 4 or something like that.
Did you watch Super Size Me?
No, I didn't watch Super Size Me. I still have never seen that movie. Everybody always tells me like that is like an incredible, crazy documentary, but I've never watched it. But what I watched was, I think Pamela Anderson or somebody like that did I think it was called like Kentucky Fried Cruelty. Mm-hmm. And it just showed like all these fucked up videos of the way the chickens are treated, for like KFC and other chicken restaurants and stuff, and like just mass market chicken production. And like I watched that, and as soon as it was over, it was basically like my eyes just agape, and I'm just like, well, I'm a vegetarian now. Because it's just so fucked up to see, and you sort of have to, I think, divorce yourself from some of that, because that stuff's happening, no matter how you slice it. And yeah, it's not cool, and you should try to support local, sources as much as you can, but that's just not feasible for a lot of people. A lot of that stuff isn't available. So of course, like, it's terrible what happens to animals and stuff like that. But for about a month there, I was totally vegetarian. Like, I did nothing. I ate no meat whatsoever. It was all like salads. And it was just funny because like, it's not as if my family like went vegetarian with me, So I just had to eat what I could. You know what I mean? And I'll never forget this. We went up to California to see my dad's family. And so the cool thing about them is, they were trying to kind of like tempt me with meat, because they actually like shoot and kill their own deer and like cook their own meat and stuff like that. It's not, they don't buy from a supermarket. And they're like, well, will you eat this? Because like, this is not, and I'm just like, I just want to do the full vegetarian thing. But, they were trying to justify it like, this isn't mass produced. This wasn't cruel or anything like that. And I was like, I just want to do the vegetarian thing. I just want to do this. Morally, this is my ground that I stand on. And they're eating these amazing like steaks and like deer sausage. Every night they got something on the grill, dude. And it's like torturous. We were there for probably like 3 or 4 days, and every night you're talking a huge cookout. And it was just like mouth-watering every night.
You fool.
So I was like craving meat in a big bad way. Like I said, I'm about a month removed from meat at this point. And we were on the way home. We were driving home, and we stopped at a Carl's Jr. I'll never forget this. So we had stopped at like a Carl's Jr. before, and they have like a veggie burger that I had, and it just was terrible, you know. This time we stopped at Carl's Jr. on the drive back, and they had like this bacon like chili cheeseburger. And dude, it was like a double, like 2 patties just smothered in like bacon and cheese and chili. And dude, I broke. I was like, fuck it, I'm not a vegetarian anymore. And dude, I destroyed that burger. And that is still, like, to my memory, I'm sure it wasn't actually that good, but in that moment, that was the best burger I've ever had.
It was probably garbage. But
So that was the extent of me trying to become a vegetarian.
Your resolve was weak.
I mean, I lasted longer than I could last today. I'll be honest. And that's kind of my stance on the whole thing. I mean, how do you feel about, like, vegetarianism?
I mean, to each their own.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, to each their own, you know. My opinion on it is I'm not going to, you know, I'm not strong-willed enough. You know, more power to you. You know, I'm not going to press my views on anybody.
I like meat too much.
That's my thing. I just really fucking like meat. Anyway, what's our next title?
This is the only one that I actually grabbed with the Middle East shit in it.
Okay.
Everybody loves the limbo in the Middle East.
So, I mean, so in the Middle East, it's funny. We should give a little bit of context. Todd mentioned this on one of the episodes.
So, this is, like we said in the beginning, and I also said it on the last episode, this is the first time we were using a new video game title generator, and I swear, the amount of times I saw something, the Middle East, was mind-blowing.
I just wonder, like, how many titles could possibly have in the Middle East with it?
A lot.
It's crazy.
I at least saw like 20 to 30, dude.
Wow. So, what was it? Everybody loves limbo in the Middle East?
Everyone loves the limbo.
Oh, the limbo.
In the Middle East. The limbo. Now, I do see this is going to be a... What I see, for some reason, is like... It's going to be weird. I know that what I'm envisioning in my head, and it's just so stupid. So, it is a side-scroller. It's a side-scrolling game.
Okay.
And it is... You're going to be doing the limbo. But here's the thing. It's like you have no control over your forward movement. You can only have control of the limbo.
What do you mean by that?
So, like, there will be the fucking poles that you have to, like, do the limbo.
Oh, I see. I actually like that idea. That's actually a solid idea.
It's going to be coming quick. So there's going to be, like, there's going to be, obviously, like, probably one where you don't got to do shit. Then, like, 'cause this is going to be, like, a side scroller, probably maybe, like, a 16-bit, 8-bit type of shit. You know what I mean? Like, not, like... So, like, the forward movement is not yours. You're going to sit there and it's going to be coming at you quick. And you got to sit there and basically you have, like, 3 choices, but it's going to be so quick. You got to be go, ba, 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 ba. You know? There's going to be three positions. Standing, standing, kind of a limbo, full, like, just dumbass. Like,
full Matrix situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, that good Matrix limbo. Yeah.
Yeah. That was, like, the only idea that I had, and obviously it's taking place in the Middle East.
That's actually a solid idea. I like that a lot more than the places my head was going, because I do like games that just like take away elements from the player. I like your idea that you would basically be controlling the limbo pole. And do you still have like an avatar that you're basically like changing the position of based on the position of the pole?
Yeah.
I actually like that idea. That's pretty good. See, my head went to like we should do like a peripheral based, sell these motherfuckers a hunk of plastic, put some plastic in their homes and give them a legitimate limbo pole.
I mean, I mean, that's not a bad idea though. Like the thing is, like with these is like I've definitely had like I've seen these before, so I like had more time to think about it.
Right. Combine
That's
the
kinda where my
two.
head went.
Combine the two ideas. It could even be a multiplayer experience where you have to use two Joy-Cons on the Switch with the power of the Switch
God damn it!
and the HD Rumble, and you have to control the limbo poles movement together in quick succession because again it's timing based, as you said.
Mm.
I like that actually. Yeah, that's a lot better than what I was thinking of. What's our next title?
Hillbilly Wagon Revenge.
Okay.
I don't know why, but I'm seeing the Oregon Trail with this.
Okay.
But it's a dark turn on it.
So again, my favorite thing with these titles is thinking about the sort of like implications of them. So are we talking about hillbillies getting revenge from like wagon related grievances, or are these the hillbillies wagons that are getting revenge?
No, you can go full dumbass. Like we can do some like supernatural shit where the wagons are coming out.
It's like I think it was Regular Show that did. Have you ever seen the clip from Regular Show where they watch a horror movie about like a British taxi that kills people?
Mm.
It's so funny. I love it so much. It's this British taxi that chases down people and like kills them, but before he kills them, he's just like, "Hello, governor." It's so good. Anyway, so Oregon Trail is an interesting angle with it. You know what's funny? It's kind of amazing that they have not made a like modernized version of Oregon Trail. I mean, they sort of have for like mobile devices, but I'm talking like an actual like it's interesting that I can't buy like Oregon Trail on my PS4 with like updated graphics or something like that.
In a world of survival games, Oregon Trail.
That's true. That's a good point too. Oregon Trail would be a really great survival game if you think about it.
Like actually, dude, dead ass, make that like a full fucking game. I'd play it.
If you went just really ham, just hyper realistic, having to like, maintain the fucking canvas protection of your wagon, of your covered wagon, and fight off like snakes and feed your oxen and shit like that.
There's people that would love that shit.
Oh, are you kidding me? And make it like a multiplayer, like a multiplayer type thing. There'd be some griefing going on. Wow. That is fertile ground, Todd. Why have they not done this? That's a free idea, video game industry. You should do that. Man, fuck whatever ideas we were going to have for redneck, hillbilly, wagon, whatever the hell. I want this Oregon Trail survival game. That's what I want. Fuck whatever the hell this was about to be. What's our next title?
Duke Nukem, Makeover Bastards.
So this is always the funny thing when you deal with a licensed property, because it sort of has implications already whenever
Can I just discuss your like laugh there?
Why? Well, whenever you deal with a licensed property, like again, it just has those sort of like those implications. Like you assume because it's a Duke Nukem game, you assume it's going to be a first-person shooter.
It doesn't have to be.
What I like to do is imagine it as something different. So Makeover Bastards. I mean, are the Makeover Bastards the enemy? Or maybe Duke Nukem has a group of Makeover Bastards. Maybe
is it wrong? I wouldn't mind them being the enemy, and they're trying to give him a makeover.
See, I don't think Duke Nukem would be that opposed to a makeover. I mean, he seems like he's sort of a fuck that shit, kind of thing. But he also, I could see Duke Nukem liking a good touch up every now and then. A good makeover every now and then. I was thinking almost like a Dirty Dozen kind of thing. Like he's one of the makeover bastards, like the Inglorious Bastards, basically, but with going around and giving people makeovers. Maybe they take the story approach is that Duke Nukem's like sick of being this sort of like misogynist, hyper machismo, sort of like male empowerment figure, and maybe to curb his like his negative public image, he basically becomes part of like the Fab Five or whatever from Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. That's essentially what he becomes to kind of like boost his public image.
I'm okay with it.
And that seems very Duke Nukem to me. That seems very meta to me. I actually would enjoy that if Duke Nukem did something like that, took some of approach like that, where it like acknowledges that Duke Nukem's kind of a piece of shit. And he's always kind of been an unlikable piece of shit. And those games were never good. I'm sorry. Anyway, what's our next title?
Return of the Hamster of Might and Magic.
Okay, so Might and Magic is a series I'm familiar with, but Return of the Hamster.
Yes.
That implies that there was a hamster to begin with. Maybe there is some sort of like innocuous hamster running around in one of the Might and Magic games. And that hamster just like went off to become a badass. He returns as this all-powerful hamster lord.
Yes.
And just like, who the hell are you? Oh, you don't remember me? I'm the hamster.
He needs a better name than the Hamster.
It's almost like in Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, whenever like you bump into a random Auric or whatever. So you don't remember me, your old buddy testicle face? You don't remember me? I'm just like, no.
I speaking of that game, I love watching just clips of the unkillable ones just always coming back. They have like metal arms and shit, like this metal plates all over their face. You can't get rid of me. That's like
that shit was so annoying. I swear to God, there was in the brief time I spent with Shadow of War, there was one dude that I must have killed like 12 times.
Oh shit.
And he just like kept coming back, dude.
It's like how long would it be? What's the quickest you've seen him after you killed him?
Like 30 minutes.
Holy shit.
You thought you got rid of me? And he just has like a metal jaw and like two of his arms, it's all fucked up. But the Return of the Hamster, what do you think? What's a good hamster name?
Is it wrong? I just want it to just not even fit him. I want him to have such like a badass name.
What?
And I'm trying to think of a badass name.
What sort of genre is the Might and Magic series?
That's a good. I feel like, is it a card game thing?
No, it's like an RPG. I played the only Might and Magic game I played was Dark Messiah of Might and Magic.
Ah, yeah. Now I remember that.
And Dark Messiah was sort of like an immersive sim kind of thing. RPG. It looks like I'm looking at pictures of these old school games. They look like old school first person RPGs. Now, are you playing as the hamster? It would be kind of weird if like it's called Return of the Hamster and you don't even play as the hamster.
I think Dark Messiah was the only one I actually played myself.
Yeah. Maybe. I just had this thought. Who's the most famous hamster, Todd?
Most famous hamster?
Yes.
At this point?
At this point, no. I just mean in general.
I don't know.
Hamtaro.
Question. Oh.
I want a Hamtaro crossover game.
Just going full dumbass with this?
Why not? Just put Hamtaro in there. He's the most popular hamster, I would say. Can you think of another hamster more popular in pop culture than Hamtaro?
Hammond. No, I'm just playing.
I mean, yes, but I feel like he's too new to overthrow Hamtaro.
You're not wrong.
Most popular hamster in pop culture. Yeah, I'm not getting anything. I'm getting a lot of cute hamster pictures. Didn't you used to have a hamster?
Yes.
Didn't like your sister inadvertently like kill your hamster or something like that?
Well, inadvertently slapped it out of my hand and it fell like a good ways and on its back.
Yeah. What was that hamster's name?
I wasn't a very creative child.
It was like Steve.
He was a long-haired hamster named Harry.
Okay. Harry Hamster. Do we want to give this hamster like a backstory like Hammond has? Where like, you know, he belonged to somebody and became like hyper intelligent.
Well, at this point, you'd have to assume he belonged to like a sorcerer or something.
Maybe a sorcerer whose like spell went awry or something like that.
Yeah.
In the
That'd
in this
be the
world.
way to go with it.
Did we decide, is he the enemy or is he the protagonist?
Now, is it wrong? I kind of want him to be the enemy, like this giant. Like, I want him to be the hamster lord.
Yeah, I do like that. Yeah, I think that's probably the route we go with it. I'm happy with that. The inclusion of Hamtaro notwithstanding. Okay, what's our next one?
So I'm gonna talk about the reason I kind of went with this title is I think we were talking about like games like this, just like stupid takes on sports.
Okay.
Omega Flatulence Baseball.
Oh yes, I love this one. This is a spicy one right here. Yeah, I love. Were we talking about this when I was talking about Everybody's Golf? I just really love arcadey.
Yeah, basically. We were talking about like NBA Jam and all that shit.
Yeah, I really love just arcadey sports games. You know, Everybody's Golf is sort of a little more realistic, I guess, but it doesn't take itself too seriously. But yeah, I also love like NBA Jam and like Mutant League football and stuff like that. This would definitely be in that vein. I mean, the obvious thing is that you like fart to hit the ball. I guess that's obviously the sort of like the main thing. But let me posit something else. Maybe the balls are propelled with fart. maybe every aspect of this is fart based.
No. When you said that, like I could tell you couldn't take yourself seriously.
It was hard to say with a straight face. Fart is just a funny word to say. So crass and short. Maybe this is a baseball game where you play as a race of sentient bats and sentient baseballs whose only form of movement is flatulence.
See, I knew this would be a good title because it would just allow your dumbass to go like balls to the wall with it.
No pun intended. Balls will certainly be to the wall in this game, Todd. And the inclusion of Omega in the title, like I think, sort of gives it an intergalactic vibe. It could sort of take place in space. It could be like, yeah, a baseball. Fuck it, a baseball RPG. Wherein you play, you can choose which race you want to play. You can choose to play as either a baseball or a bat.
Okay.
Each one, though, their movement completely fart-based. Completely fart-based movement. All of their powers are fart-based. Later,
everything is fart-based.
Everything is fart-based.
Speaking is fucking farts. It's all farts.
This economy is 100%. We thrive on a fart existence in this economy, on this fart planet. Much like the real planet that we're on now. What's our next title?
Now, this one is technically really simple. There's only one way this is going to go.
Okay.
It is Pagan Go-Kart Dash.
Pagan Go-Kart Dash.
It's basically going to be Mario Kart with pagan gods.
So, with pagan gods, I was thinking more so along the lines of like, it would be really funny to have pagan gods, but to also have characters that are like, you know, just those emo kids in school. Yeah, I'm a pagan. Yeah, I need Halloween off work because it's actually a religion. It's actually a religious holiday for me.
I think deadass, I knew a guy.
Oh, I've known several people. Did you know kids in like high school are like, yeah, I'm a Wiccan.
Oh.
My family, we're Wiccans. And we like we have like a pentagram in our house.
Can I tell you, it's like the voice. The voice is like what's killing me.
Yeah,
that you're doing.
Yeah, we burn incense every day, and we have like dead trees in our house. Oh my God. Yeah, I've known several Wiccans, and they all carried like everyone that I've known. Like you can tell, just simply did it because they wanted to be quirky.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think about it, like all holidays really are pagan in origin, you know, most of them anyway. it was interesting to me. I had a chick who worked with me years ago, who literally she was like making a big stink about it. She's like, I better not be working Halloween. I'm not working Halloween. And she just kept saying it like wanting me to incite a question, like wanting me to be like, why do you need Halloween off so bad? So eventually I gave in. I was like, why? Like, okay, I'll bite. Why? Yeah, it's actually a religious holiday for me. Yeah, I'm pagan, and Halloween is actually like the most important day of the year for us. It's like a religious thing. So if they try to make me work on Halloween, I swear to God, I'll fucking lose my shit. It's like my religion. That's like illegal.
That's illegal. Get the fuck out of here.
So yeah. Yeah, you're right. There is kind of only one way you could go with that. Now, pagan gods. I'm not very familiar with pagan gods.
Well, the thing is, pagan gods would technically be any of the mythologies.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Like, you can grab Norse, Greek, Roman, all that shit.
I see. So that would be interesting then at the end of the day, because you have a lot of options to choose from.
And at that point, you can have, because it's going to be kind of like a Mario Kart thing. You could have interesting, like one of the like the things you could pick up like as like a thing like a red shell, like Zeus's lightning, like shit
right,
like
right. I do sort of want there to be at least one character who's just like an emo kid, that just an emo kid that just is totally like loving being pagan or Wiccan or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like that's a necessity.
What's the character's name? Is it a boy or a girl? Let's create this character.
It'd be a girl.
It would be a girl. Okay. What's an emo girl name?
Well, at this point, I feel like it'd be a fake name.
It would be like Raven or something like that.
It'd be like fucking Raven Moonlight or some dumb shit.
like Ebony Luna or something like that.
Oh god.
Yeah, I'm Ebony Luna, and these are my fucking crystals. I don't know.
Oh god.
I like it. What's our next title?
Now, if you can make something out of this, I'll be very impressed. I deadass grabbed this title because it just caught me off guard. Because it's just a bunch of
garbage. Okay. Challenge accepted.
Eternal programming of the Third Reich.
Eternal programming of the Third Reich. Oh, Todd, this is an easy one. Are you kidding me? Are you familiar with the like typing games, like Typing of the Dead?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so this game is basically you're having to. So there's actually a few games in this subgenre where programming is sort of an essential part. So I'm thinking of the Third Reich. You know, obviously has like a Nazi kind of connotation. Think of a first-person shooter where you have to almost think of the early like Wolfenstein games where you're just going through shooting Nazis, but you're having to program, right? You're having to type in like simple functions like if Nazi kicks, dodge or whatever, or type in simple command functions like, because the game would start off with if you approached a door, just nothing would happen.
Yeah.
But you would eventually have to type in if door open or whatever. And you would have to, you could even make different pieces of code like power-ups or pickups in the game. And you would essentially be playing like a shooter, but a very thoughtful, almost puzzle game shooter.
Okay.
That's my take on that. Fuck you, Todd.
Yeah, there you go. Sure.
Challenge accepted, Todd. All right. Next title.
Now, this is technically my favorite one.
Okay.
Alcoholic Gopher, The Dark Descent.
This is a very rodent-heavy, Yes. Haven't we done the Dark Descent thing before?
I feel like we have.
Yeah, I feel like that's been in one of our titles in the past. Alcoholic Gopher, The Dark Descent. So this is basically going to end up being like a Conquer sort of scenario, where it's like an anthropomorphic animal who's like a potty mouth and also like a, But what sort of game is it? The Dark Descent makes it sound like an RPG.
It doesn't have to be that. That could be just a symbol of he's going down a dark path.
maybe it takes place inside of his, maybe it's like a survival horror game, like almost like, let me posit this. So you're familiar with the series The Evil Within.
Yes.
So it's sort of like a similar thing, but he's this alcoholic gopher is handling his own dark descent, and it's taking place inside of his mind, and he's battling personal alcoholic demons. And maybe since he's a gopher, maybe his demons are represented by like birds of prey. Like his social anxieties are represented by like a vicious eagle. And
now let me tell you this sounds very good to me.
And his sort of like relationship, his past like relationship issues are represented by this like vicious owl that is constantly stalking him. You know,
vicious owl.
just a terrible nightmare owl.
Did I ever tell you the owls kind of creep me out?
They're extremely creepy, but I love them.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like, they creep me out, but I still enjoy them. There's like that really creepy gif of like a bunch, like there's like 5 of them. Like one of them's like just sitting there like doing an entire like rat down its fucking gullet type shit. I was like, oh shit.
So that's the thing about owls is like they're kind of like beautiful and majestic. Have you ever just like seen an owl like in person?
Nah. That
might be something that you might see an owl at the Houston Zoo actually when we go. Or sorry, I mean we've already gone. What do you mean? You've seen an owl at the Houston Zoo? But you might actually see one there. But owls are just like something to behold. Like especially when you see just the length of their wingspan, they're just like these fucking majestic birds. You know what I mean? And they're just beautiful. And you sort of forget that they could just like destroy you like it was nothing. Like if an owl wanted to kill you at any given moment, it could just pierce your jugular with its talons like a hot knife through butter, dude. And you would just be done. Like an owl can fuck you up. They have
I welcome it.
In Japan, there's an owl cafe where you can like interact with owls and have coffee and stuff.
All right then.
Anyway, I think we've sufficiently workshopped that one. I actually like that one. I think that would be kind of a cool game.
Now, we technically have 2 more, but we technically only need 10, but I have 11.
That's fine. I'm down for a bonus.
Now, I'm going to use the bonus one as the last one that I grabbed. That's going to be the bonus
Okay.
one. So I'm going to backtrack to the one I skipped. Roman Puppy of Death.
Roman Puppy of Death. Again with the animals.
This is dude, I'm telling you, let me tell you this. A lot of animals, a lot of Middle East.
Wow. And those 2 things go hand in hand, as we know.
Yes.
Roman Puppy of Death. I do like that. I like those implications. You remember that game, like, I think it was an Xbox One launch title, Rise, Son of Rome?
Yes.
It was basically like a over-the-shoulder like action game where you played as like a Roman knight or something like that, and it like wasn't very good. But yeah, I could sort of imagine something that I really like, Todd, is animal-based movies in which they establish like a lore and like a hierarchy. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll give you an example. Do you remember like the Cats versus Dogs movies?
I love that movie. I fucking love that movie.
I like it when like they introduce us to this world where like cats and dogs are like mortal fucking enemies, and they have it. You know, they have like a set of rules established within that world. You know what I mean? And what better set of rules? What better lore than the Roman Empire? You know, and. Maybe it is like a war. Who did the Romans go to war with?
Everyone.
What's the most famous one? Ooh, this is perfect actually, Todd. This is perfect. The Romans annexed Egypt. And who did Egyptians famously worship, Todd?
Cats?
Fuck. We're on to something, dude. This is like a game where you play as this Roman puppy who is like this. First of all, what breed do you think this puppy is?
I feel like we have to be historically accurate.
Well, I don't even care about historical accuracy, but I do feel like it needs to be like in my heart.
At that point, I want him to be a pug.
Well, yeah, in my heart, I want him to be a pug. But here's the thing: a pug is not going to be a puppy of death. He's going to get winded when he walks down the street. He's going, I'm here to kill you, cat. That's not gonna be how that goes down. So it needs to be like a Doberman or something like that, or a Rottweiler or something. I think a Rottweiler would actually be pretty good. What sort of dogs? Roman Empire dogs. Ooh, Mastiff.
It's actually where I'm thinking.
This ancient extinct breed of dog is commonly considered to be the ancestor of today's Mastiff, and it was actually called.
Did you look up the same shit I did?
Yes, this breed of dog was called the Molossus, Todd.
Yes, yeah. Okay, you're on the same exact. Like, are you on the Wikipedia page?
It's the Dogs of War. It's called the fucking Molossus. What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what a badass name for a dog. Okay. So I think the route that we're going is pretty clear now. So we need to name this dog.
Colossus.
Colossus the Molossus. Maybe we just do we just go for it and just straight up name him like Ares?
The dog of war.
But he's the dog of death, right? So
yeah, you're right.
Roman name for death. He's the puppy of death, rather.
Well, at that point, Cerberus?
So
well, that's Greek, but still.
Thanatos. Thanatos translates to death.
That's a good name.
So, main character's name, Thanatos. Okay? And he is a Molossus Mastiff. Think of like a large dog breed of Mastiff. He is sort of the puppy Roman Empire's main assassin, the puppy of death. And he is going to overthrow, systematically assassinating the sort of tyrannical cats of the Egyptian Empire at war.
Okay.
I like it. A lot of good research. I think 5 minutes of man hours went into researching this. And I think that work is on display. What's our bonus title?
Are you ready?
I am.
The Great Amish Experience.
The Great Amish Experience.
This is honestly, I think it's going to be an Amish simulator.
How ironic that a video game would be the Great Amish Experience.
Right.
Isn't that one of life's cruel ironies? I would like to just go completely ham with it and just make it the furthest thing from an Amish experience as possible. I want it to be in fucking VR. Like souped up the most expensive VR kit possible as necessary. You need a fucking PC built by NASA to run this game.
You're gonna straight be living this shit.
You need a PC built by NASA with a headset that you have to be to be surgically fused to in order to play it. And you have just the most advanced butter churning kit.
The most advanced.
You're gonna be churning this butter. It's just this sleek metal that hooks up to your VR machine, and it is a true Amish experience, just in every way but the real. That's where my head went.
Well, that's the only place to go.
That is the only place to go. Some solid titles, Todd. I liked that. How did you like using that? How'd you like using that?
It's
new
all
site?
right. I do miss the old one.
I miss it too.
I didn't get any Nintendo or Nickelodeon.
I was just about to say that.
I was sitting there. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna sit here forever just trying to get a Nickelodeon.
Yeah, and then also you don't want to be disingenuous by injecting a Nickelodeon character into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I could have easily just made my own.
Well, you could have totally just been fucking the Wild Thornberries of Might and Magic.
Yeah, right.
Something like that. Anyway, I enjoyed that. I always enjoy playing this game. It's always fun and stupid, and I like it. Did you have anything else you wanted to add before we wrap it up?
I think that's about it.
Thanks for listening, folks. We'll catch you next time. Get fucking dunked on. Bye.
See ya.
Hey there, thanks for checking out another fantastic Nerd Bourbon video. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, be sure to go ahead and subscribe, leave us a like, drop us a nice comment, or I guess a mean one if that's your prerogative. But until next time, get dunked on.